website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, there are basically 2 ways of going about mastering this instrument. The first way will never get you there, and the second one will, guaranteed. So what are they? And before we go into that, remember to subscribe to this channel. Go sign up on our website and get free jam tracks every single day, and follow us on Instagram. You can just click the links below this video. I just saw an ad for Fender University, I think it was. They started offering lessons mainly to beginners, and the second they've said that in the ad, they go say, we got hundreds of songs with tabs and chords, and I immediately go, oh, so it's just the same, the same way of teaching beginners that we always, and it's a cool way, basically, right? You start by learning songs because it's so practical, it's so real in front of you. You want to learn that cool song, it's only got 3 chords, you learn those 3 chords and you got to win because it's great to learn a song. Then you can play something that sounds like music. And then we go on like that. We learn song after song, and then they get harder and harder. They have more and more chords in them. They have more and more complex strumming patterns, perhaps. And then and that's the slowest way of going about it. It's a cool way in the beginning, just the fresh beginning, because you want to have that reward of learning to play something that sounds like real music. But at some point, you need to grow up, right? It's like cooking. It's the same thing there. And in that area, we know exactly what to do. We know if you just start, using recipes one after another, you just remain an amateur. You will. You just start, have recipes. It says what to do, what to put into the cake or the dish or whatever. And then you produce that dish. And then you get better and better at doing that dish after you've done it 100 times. Because you start, there's a little more salt on but at some point, you need to learn cooking, right? You need to start learning, okay, what does salt do to food? We know that. But what about acid? What about, there are so many ways in which you can influence the taste. And what really happens when you put something into the oven or you cook it? What about fish? What about veal? What about red meat? All of these little things. You need to learn the specific craft of cooking, right? And you go to Paris, perhaps, and, you chop tomatoes for 2 months, and you learn to do it just in the exact, and you repeat over and over again. But you don't repeat making the same dish. You repeat the processes with which you make that dish, and you become a master of each sub-element of cooking, right? It's right there. It's right there in martial arts as well. Right? You don't go into the ring and just start, using 10 different random techniques, fighting a guy and say, I won. Yeah, but is that really karate or taekwondo? Or, you have to learn each separate ingredient, and you have to do it over and over and over and over again until it's unconscious. And, and some people say, no, it's subconscious. It's the same thing, right? Something subconscious is unconscious, right? Just because we use it when we faint doesn't mean that unconscious means that you're totally. You can be unconscious and conscious at the same time, as I am now, because I'm speaking, I'm using words and I'm putting them together, and that's an unconscious process. I'm not conscious about that. It just happens, right? There's no time to prepare that consciously. It just happens, and you need to take every single element to that level. And I get 100 questions, right, every single month about. How do I improve my soloing? How do I improve this? How do I improve that? And the answer very often is, I'm sorry, but you just basic rhythm skills. It's just there's some part of your soft skills that are missing, that aren't there yet, and it looks like magic when they are there, when the rhythm works and the technique and everything is easy, every single sub-skill is easy, then you just start playing music like that. But you will never get there by playing songs. You will never get there by cooking one dish and then another, because your brain never gets into the details of what are you actually doing here, right? What's actually the discipline? What is the success criteria of frying something just to the right degree or whatever it is, right? at just the right kind of heat. People have been investigating this for hundreds of years, looking into it. And we need to work at that level to be able to. But Claus, the guys who, the stars that I look up to, they never did that. Well, some people have a natural focus. Some people have more things going for them, and they don't need to be as conscious as you and me to do it. That's what we call talent. These people aren't better than we are. They don't have inborn gifts as such. They just have a natural inclination to have the right focus when they practice or do the right things in the right order. But most people have to be conscious about these recipes of how to go about it. And if we aren't, we can just point to people who naturally do it and say, aren't they talented? But it's not like an inborn ability. It's just a way their brain works, and we can mimic that. We can copy that. But the only way to do that is to stop playing songs. And I shouldn't say stop completely. Of course you want to play songs, but that's the practical thing about cooking, right? Or creating music or playing music. You want to learn to cook, and then you want to go use your skills. But you learn the skills first, right? So if you're playing songs, you need to learn chords. You need to learn rhythm as one thing. You need to learn strumming. You need to focus on strumming as a thing, as one thing you become better at, right? Every single sub-skill. And that's the key. That's the true secret of going all the way to mastery, because then you have focus on it. You can focus on one thing, one little sub-skill, bring it all the way up there. Anybody can. You just need to know what are the success criteria of me doing this in the coolest, most effective way, and then you need to practice that over and over again. Once you combine the little sub-skills of muting, strumming, chords, single note, right? Then you've got it. And you can definitely learn to go some of the way by playing songs or different little pieces and read the tabs over and over again and play longer pieces. But it's going to take you 200 years to get there. And that's why most people, they stagnate and stay mediocre or stay at a level where they really, they start thinking, maybe I can never get there to that highest level. But they totally can. They're just using that beginner approach that is so effective when you get to a high level.
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.